Hola friends, welcome back. For those who are new to me, my name is Adiola and I share my experiences about life here as a single woman living here in Merida, Yucatan, Mexico. So today's video is actually for the single girls and guys out there, and it is specifically about where to live in Merida as a single person. Now, it doesn't matter your age. You could be in your 30s, 40s, even you could be in your 60s. Also, this video actually can be for young couples that are thinking of moving down here or even finding a place to live. Now, Merida is quite small geographically, land size wise, and even when you look at it on a map, it's quite small. And that could actually give a really wrong impression, because you're thinking, well, it's really small, so really I can live anywhere and then I will just get to most places that I need to get to in under 15 minutes. Now, Merida of the 2010s, Merida of the 90s, yes, you can get to most places within 10, maximum 15 minutes. And so that's why many of the locals here, they usually don't like to venture out so much. So anywhere that's like more than a 20 minutes drive here is too much driving, it's too far. And because the city has grown rapidly in the past 5 to 10 years, it has created a lot of traffic congestion, meaning that places that used to take 10 minutes to get to now takes 20 to 25 minutes. And if traveling during rush hour, it could even take longer. So now, for most of you guys, you probably won't have to worry about rush hour, like going to work or even coming back from work during rush hour times, right? Because a lot of you will probably be working from home, and you can now choose when to go out. You can go out, when it's not so busy, which is usually what I do most times. And so that's why this video, I want to take you on a virtual tour to show you pretty much the map of Merida, and some neighborhoods that I would recommend for young people moving down here, specifically single people. Now, I will suggest living within the city limits, especially if you plan to actually get involved in community events, if you plan to go out, meet new people, try new things every now and then. Because if you live outside of the city limits, it can add, more challenges to you going out. And, you might even give yourself excuses to not go out, to not do anything. And if you are coming from a bigger city where it takes you an average of an hour to get to places, then to you, maybe living far out might not be a big deal. So I actually know someone who moved down here from Mexico City, and she lives like outside of the city limits, like literally outside, like from like where Merida starts to her house, it's about a 20 minutes drive. Now getting into Centro itself, another maybe 25 minutes. And for her, it's not that much of a big deal, because Mexico City, where she's coming from, it takes her like an hour to get to most places anyway. But obviously, we don't want to be spending an hour in our cars when we could be spending that 1 hour just going out there, meeting new people, and just enjoying our lives and thriving, right? Why do you want to get stuck in traffic for 1 hour when you can be immersing yourself in the culture that is here? So now, as a single person, you want to live inside the city limit. Most times when you go online, when you go on, just on YouTube, what have you, to do research on where to live in Merida, most people will suggest two neighborhoods, mostly two neighborhoods, which will be Centro, so that's the downtown, the center of the city, and they will also recommend the north. Most times that's like the northeast of Merida. So those two regions, those two areas. But the thing is, Merida is bigger than those two cities. I mean, those two colonias, those two neighborhoods. There are more places where you can live. Now, it'll be based on your interest and your budget. Interest and budget, that will determine where to live. Now, a lot of people will live outside of the city limits because those houses are usually brand new. So everything is new and modern. The thing is, you can also get brand new and modern in the city, right? So I live in Centro and I live in a brand new house. But then again, that's just my own unique case. So there are new builds, like new buildings inside of the city limits. And there are some pockets of the city whereby you have developers going in. They'll buy like a large piece of land, because we still have empty lots in the city. Yeah, they're more expensive, but we still have them. And these developers might build like a condominium, or they might build townhouses on those plots of land. So we still have new builds if that's what you're looking for, or houses that are well looked after. So I'm going to be taking you to Google Maps, so you can also get a virtual tour of Merida. In the near future, after the rainy season, I will take you on a live tour where you can actually see what different neighborhoods, what they look like. Even though right now, I think if you do some research on YouTube, you can see some of those videos by other creators. Right now, it's a rainy season, so many of the streets are flooded and with many potholes. And also we have many mosquitoes. Like the mosquitoes that we have this year, they're just excessive. I've never seen that many mosquitoes just in one place. So I've been home in the past 2 weeks almost, because the mosquitoes out there, out of this world. So now let's go to Google so I can show you what Merida looks like. And I'm also going to be showing you, like roughly how long it takes to get from one place to the other. Now, for example, if I want to go to, let's say, the north of Merida, let's say, for example, from my neighborhood to, let's say, Grand Plaza, it might show me like 8 kilometers. Now, in some parts of, let's say, the US or Canada, for example, 8 kilometers, that might only take you 10 minutes to get to. Only 10 minutes. Maximum 12 minutes. But here in Merida, because it is so congested, you have so many people living on a small piece of terrain, it might take you 25 minutes. And it is a lot of stop and go driving. Stop and go, stop and go, stop and go, stop and go. Not an easy drive where you just drive once and you're there. So that's one thing to take into consideration. So even though sometimes when a realtor is giving you a virtual tour, they might tell you, okay, it takes 20 minutes to get here, to get there. But in reality, the 20 minutes can be 15 minutes long, right? And also, if you also look at it on Google Maps, it might tell you 20 minutes, but in reality, it's not 20 minutes. So again, it depends on what you value, right? For me, I'd rather get to a place in 10 minutes if I can, than spending 30 minutes getting there. So, like I said, I'm just gonna quickly show you just a general overview of Merida. So let's go. Okay, so now let's quickly go through the map of Merida. Now what you're looking at right here, you've probably seen it before, and that is Merida as of 2025, because it is growing rapidly. So as you can see here, it says Centro. This is the center of the city, the downtown of the city, and it is quite large. And outside of it, you have the residential area. You also have some businesses also around it, and you have neighborhoods such as outside of Centro, you have neighborhoods such as Chiminipolis, Industrial, Mayapan. Mayapan is not so popular, even though that's also a good neighborhood. Very local, Mayapan. You have Miguel Aleman. You have San Nicolas Norte. So that's like going to the north of Merida now. You have Emiliano Zapata Oriente, a very nice neighborhood as well. You have Poligono, Ciento Ocho, very local neighborhood. You have Itzmina, Ciento Ocho. We also have Itzmina, which is like outside of Centro. So do not get them confused. We have Poligono, which is close to Macro Plaza. It has Shedrawi, it has Cinemex. You have Los Pinos. Now, when I first came to Merida in December of 2020, I booked an Airbnb in Los Pinos, and I just loved that neighborhood. I love the neighborhood, and I will go for walks, and they have beautiful homes in Los Pinos and La Florida. Beautiful, big mansions, colorful houses. You have San Pedro Cholul. Now we're getting close to the peripheral now. We have San Pedro Cholul, and let me go up north a little bit. Colonia Maya. You can see the streets here are very big. The streets are wide, very big, and also the properties also, they can be quite large. So sometimes a developer will just buy one plot of land, just somebody's land, and they will build an apartment unit on it, because those houses, they're usually on a big plot of land. And then of course we have Plaza Tabrisa. You have Colonia Tabrisa with brick roads. Beautiful. It just tells you like there's a lot of money in this neighborhood. And we have many hospitals, or 2 hospitals in Tabrisa, this area, and also many medical facilities in this area. And then we have Monte Carlo. We have the Montes, Montebello. Colonia Campestre. It's actually more on this area, but it says so Campestre, so that's a mini neighborhood. We have Benito Juarez Norte. Here they have many beautiful restaurants and businesses in this area, Benito Juarez. We have Montes de Aime. Nice area as well. So if you're looking for something more modern, something like above 15,000 pesos rent-wise, you're going to find them in this area, Montes de Aime, Benito Juarez, Montebello. Montebello, you have many large houses. Some of the properties in this neighborhood, they take up like the whole block, like this whole section. For example, like this whole section. Okay, actually, this might be a really good example because there's nothing here. So I don't know if it's a park. I don't know what's here, if it's a park or somebody's house. If it's somebody's house, there should be like a block. Okay, so here we have this one, for example. So this is somebody's house on this whole block. Like, how ridiculous is that? And sometimes you have a house that takes up like the whole street. It takes up the whole street. And yeah, and in this neighborhoods like this, you're gonna find you're also gonna find many townhouses. So this is an example of a townhouse without even using Google Street View. So this is an example of a townhouse. So in the northeast of Merida, they have many modern accommodation, mostly apartments or condominiums or townhouses. So if you're looking to live in a house, but the only reason why people will live outside of the city limits is because for what you're going to pay for a townhouse, you're going to get like a whole house with like your own swimming pool, your own garden, the parking lot, your own privacy for, let's say, the same price, right? So that's why some people would just move out. So let's quickly use Google Street View so we can just take a look at, we can just peep through and see what is here exactly. So let's drag our guy. Let's drag him here. So we can see, okay, so as you can see, number 367, it starts from that corner. And okay, no, that's not it. But yeah, but at least that's a big portion. So let's see. I don't think we're looking at the right house, right? So when I say virtual tour, so this is it. So houses in this neighborhood, like I said, they can be quite large, very vast. So let's see, and you can see here, so that's like somebody's land, right? So that's why I said that sometimes you can actually get brand new homes in these neighborhoods, because what could happen is that somebody will go and buy that land if the owner actually wants to sell it. Buy it and then build on it. So at least that way you can still build your home in the city without going outside. Now it's going to be more expensive, obviously, right? It'll be more expensive, but at least you don't have to go through that bottleneck of trying to cross the peripheral. So let's exit, because before moving on, I just wanted to point your attention to this. So this is still in the Montebello neighborhood, and I'm just seeing all this land here. So, but anyway, this is besides the point, because this is mostly for people looking to rent, not people looking to buy, because I'm just looking at all these plots of land here. In the Montebello neighborhood. It's going to be very expensive because the peripheral is like right there. The peripheral is right there, and also it's in the Montebello neighborhood, which is an expensive neighborhood. But at least this might be ideal for a developer, because then even if you're paying so much for the land, you're going to be building multiple units on that land. And so you can make your money back, as opposed to buying it and then building for yourself to live on, right? And so the road obviously isn't as developed because, of the land on that side. So what I'm doing is I'm actually changing so we can see the terrain. So, okay, what we saw right there, right? Okay, so this is just a block and there's nothing here. So it could be somebody's whole land, or it could be the city just trying to preserve that land for something, for a park or what have you. So okay, so this is that property that we saw, right? That takes up the whole block. It looks like a palace of some sort. And usually these properties, they have like high fences. Now, the type of family that lives here, the type of people who live here, who knows, right? And also we are next to it, we have this block where only half of it is occupied, and the other half probably belongs to somebody and they're not ready to sell yet. And if you look next to it, right, so these are houses probably built by a developer, because we see the swimming pools and they all look the same, and everything pretty much looks the same. Anyway, so let me quickly exit out of here. So we just finished exploring the northeast of Merida. I mean, it's quite big, and it is such an interesting part of the city, because every time I go to this part of the city, the northeast, I'm always wowed. I'm always so surprised, because I'm just like, wow. Like, you mean people live like this in the same city, in the same Merida? And I also want to bring your attention to something. Look at the way the city was distributed. A neighborhood such as Montes de Jaime, it's like more clear cut. It's like a square. Where is Montes de Jaime? So it's more like a square, right? More developed, more planned out. And you go to some neighborhoods where it's just all over the place, such as, for example, it's Mina 108. Like I said, it's very much middle class sort of neighborhood, mostly one-story buildings, very low ceilings, because that's what the people can afford. And you can see the streets are quite narrow, very skinny and actually long, compared to neighborhoods such as Montes de Jaime, Montebello even, Benito Juarez, and the Monte Cristo. That's just something else. Monte Cristo, you're gonna find very large houses in this neighborhood, and also the way the streets are divided, right? Also, it's also something to also take note of, right? Houses on large pieces of land. So you can see all this place, spaces, right? Somebody's land, right? A small house on a big piece of land. All right, so that's pretty much it for the northeast of Merida. Let's go to the northwest. So when people say norte, north of Merida, they are usually referring to like anything in this area. Well, in this area. So now let's go to the middle class norte. So this is more like upper class north, and this is the middle class north. And here you're gonna find a lot of Chilangos, so people from Mexico City and people from outside of Merida. Also some local people as well. And so you can also see the way this part of the city was distributed, right? The land sizes on this part of the city, they are usually very small, right? Because they were built out, for, to be affordable, And that is Francisco Montejo. And Francisco Montejo is actually quite vast, so that's why they have multiple sections. Francisco Montejo 3, Francisco Montejo 2, and 1. I think it goes to like 4. Francisco Montejo, it's quite large. And they also have a park that goes from the north of Francisco Montejo to the very end. Parque Lineal. Where's that park? Okay. So this is the Parque Lineal, and it actually goes all the way up here to Francisco Montejo, to almost close to the peripheral. It's here somewhere. So let's check it out. So Francisco Montejo has affordable homes, much more affordable than this side. So if let's say you were paying 20,000 for rent on this side of the city, you crossing to the other side, you can actually drop your rent in half. 10,000 pesos, 12,000 pesos, 13, maximum 15 in this area. Now, what you're going to get, the size of what you're going to get, it's not going to be the same as here, because the houses on this side, they're usually smaller, 1 story, some 2 stories, actually a few 2-story houses, depending on how the owner built their homes. But usually, yeah, 1 story, 2 stories, you can actually get houses for like 7,000 pesos, 8,000 pesos in this area, Francisco Montejo. And it's also a really good area because, it's in the north. So if you want to go to the beach, very easy to go to the beach. So that's Francisco Montejo. And then we have Chubuna. Chubuna also, it's big. Chubuna has many narrow roads. So when I drive in Chubuna, I usually don't feel comfortable because the roads are very narrow. But yeah, and actually, they have a few providers in Chubuna. Old providers and also new providers in Chubuna, in that area. And also a few also in Francisco Montejo as well. Okay, so those are really good neighborhoods where you can find affordable homes inside of the city limits as a single person. So now, let me quickly show you one thing, for example. Let's say, for example, you live... Okay, so let me go find a place, for example. So let's say you live here, for example, in this area, and you want to get to Centro for an event, because there are always so many activities, events going on. So from here, you want to get to, let's say, here, for example. So let me quickly do a search to give you an idea. So we're going to start from, let's say, this bodega. It's a grocery store. And let's say we want to go to Olimpo. They have many cultural events, and there is also an art gallery in that area. Now, from that bodega Herrera to Olimpo, for example, it's showing you it's only 8.3 kilometers. Only 8.3 kilometers, all right? But driving there, right now I'm recording this video in the evening, 6 p.m. So that's like rush hour almost. It's showing that it will take you about 27 minutes to 30 minutes to get there. Let's go to a different part of the city. Let's say we want to start from this Chedraui, for example, that's in the Montebello, Monte Cristo area, and we want to come to Olimpo. So let's delete that, and let me just put in the Chedraui, for example. Again, it's showing it's about 8.3 kilometers, 8 kilometers thereabout, and again, it will take you about 25 minutes to get here. 25 minutes to get to the city. I mean, that's just an, approximate, right? So just to give you an idea, only 8 kilometers takes you anywhere between 25 to 30 minutes, and that's in the city. 25 to 30 minutes in the city. Didi or Uber, depending on the time of day, it could be anywhere between 80 pesos to 150 pesos. It depends, because sometimes they have surges, and yeah, it can add up. Or you can take the public transportation, obviously. So now we are done exploring the north of Merida. We're done exploring the north. Now let's come and explore the central. Yeah, let's explore the central. Not central like the downtown, but the central of the city. Now, for the central of the city, the places that I would recommend would be Garcia Generes. Garcia Generes is a really big neighborhood. And as you can see, the distribution of the city very similar to the northeast. So you're going to find many big houses, many mansions actually in this area. Garcia Generes, so it's just west of Centro. And if you go a little bit outside of that, we have pensiones on this side. We have this neighborhood called Bojoquest, and I actually did like 1 or 2 videos about a property that I found, or 2 properties that I found in this neighborhood. We have Yucalpeten, and this neighborhood, it has many medical facilities, many hospitals actually. And also on the west, we have Plaza Dorada. That's a big shopping mall. And you also have many other shopping centers in this neighborhood, or at least in this area. And other businesses as well. So that's it for the West Central. Now let's go to the East Central. The East Central, we have, all right, so we have Lopez Mateos. Lopez Mateos is located just next to Jesus Carranza, where I used to live. So that's Jesus Carranza. So we see La Plancha over there, and that's pretty much Centro, so you can actually walk. And we have Chuminipolis, which I've shown you earlier. Chuminipolis has this shopping mall called Plaza Patio. It has Soriana, it has Cinemex, a few shops and businesses in that plaza. And you have the hospital, it's a public hospital. You also have Lázaro Cárdenas. We have this park, Fraccionamiento del Parque. I've been to this park a few times. Very nice park. Miraflores, I would say actually that's like almost central. And what other neighborhoods are just central? Not central, but central, right? So those are some neighborhoods to consider when renting. Now, if you're looking for something more like affordable, let's say less than 12,000 pesos in rent, even less than 10,000 pesos, you can still get less than 10,000 pesos. 2 bedrooms, for example, house. Then, but not too far from the city, still inside of the city. Then I will recommend places such as Vergel. So Vergel has, I believe, 3 zones. Vergel 1, Vergel 2, and Vergel 3, I believe. It says Il, but I think that should be 3. Vergel 2, and I've been to this neighborhood when I was thinking of, when I went to go check out a property that was for sale. this area, Oriente, so the east, and there is a plaza, and yeah, Plaza Oriente. Yeah, apparently that was the first plaza in Merida, Plaza Oriente. And let's go a little bit more south. So the Salvador Alvarado Zoo, they have a major baseball park in this area, and they also have a university also in this area. All right. So south of Merida is actually not as bad as people think it is. There are some part of Merida that's like not too great, and that's like the southwest, and yeah, but people live everywhere. So Santa Rosa also, that's like south of Centro. So this is it. This is south of Centro, Santa Rosa, and I will just stop right here. Mercedes Barrera. I'll stop right here because once you go more south, then it becomes more low income. Even though I've seen really good houses in this neighborhood, really good houses, really good condition, but the only thing is just your neighbors. Although you can find very nice houses in neighborhoods such as this place as well. So it all depends. All right, so let's scroll out of that. Now, as you can see, so I mostly covered the north, so northwest, northeast. I covered also the west a little bit, but more north of this Jacinto Canec and a little bit south of the Jacinto Canec and the east part, this side. I didn't venture to the south area because it's more low income, even though you can also find very good places there as well. But I don't have a lot of knowledge of the South. I've been to different neighborhoods in the South a few times, but not as much. I've also been to this area, Tishkakal. Tishkakal has some housing development, more like affordable housing development in this area. But it looks a little bit rough, but they have some nice areas, especially if it's like in a privada almost in this area, this Tishkakal. I've been here like 2 or 3 times. So yeah, so I'm mostly showing you areas that I have knowledge on. So that is pretty much it in terms of where to possibly rent or even live, or rent and live in Merida. And yeah, so let me know if you have any question, and if you're currently looking at a property here in Merida or in the city limit, or maybe even outside of the city limit, you're thinking of, okay, is it recommended? You can always send me a DM to show me, to to just get my opinion if that's what you're looking for. But yeah, I've shown you many neighborhoods in the city that you can check out. I also gave you a Google Street View, and I also did a quick Google Maps direction on like on average how long it will take you to get from the northeast and the northwest of Merida to the city, right? Because sometimes they might tell you it's only 5 kilometers, or it's only 8 kilometers, it's only 2 kilometers, and you're thinking, oh, that should only take me 2 minutes. But really, it's not gonna take you that. It'll take you much longer. But then again, I mean, it depends on where you're coming from. For some people, that's nothing. That is absolutely nothing. But yeah, I've gotten used to getting to places within 10 to 15 minutes here in Merida that I don't see myself spending more than 20 minutes getting to a place. All right, so let me know what you think about this video. For those who are living outside of the city limits, it could be Cholu, it could be Temoso Norte, very nice area, by the way. It could be Chablecal, it could be Pradas de Mayab, it could be Concal, it could be Calquel, even Kanatin. Let me know what your experience has been like living, outside of the city limits. I know people sometimes want to be far away from things, and so they don't mind. But some people find that, hey, everything happens in the city, especially in Central. Everything happens, or most things will happen in Central. So they feel like, you know what, let me move, let me be closer to the action. And so that way, if I want to go out like 3, 4, 5 times a week, I can do that without having to budget in the time it takes me to get there, as well as the transportation cost that it'll take me to get there. Right? All right, so let me know what you think, and if you have any questions for me, you can always let me know in the comment section, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao.